enjoying the week so far and the sessions? So I am Craig Webb. I run a company called Webb-Marketing. That's me. And there's a picture of me there. So I was a hotel manager, 17 years. I was in hospitality for 32 years. I've done every job in catering, hospitality that you could possibly name. So wherever you are in your business, I've probably been there, from kitchen porter to business owner and manager. In 2008, I was running a hotel. It was in administration. We were running it on behalf of the banks as a contract to keep it as a going concern. Our job was to get the business sold. But because I wasn't allowed to spend any money, and I was like, oh, how can I make money without spending money? You know, we all know you've got to advertise and things like that. So it was kind of the dawn of where social media was getting big and that sort of thing. So I started turning to those digital marketing things and all the resources I could find to do free marketing to try to drive sales to the business and save money. So obviously online travel agents were a thing, wasn't so much Airbnb, but Expedia, Booking.com were around. And I was trying to save money in the middle of the account, so that it dropped to the bottom line. Anything I could save would drop to the bottom line, would mean that the business was more sustainable and a better buy for somebody who wanted to buy the hotel. So that's where kind of it all started for me. And then eventually I really focused down on SEO as my main job. And I did that for the hotels I managed. Back in January last year, I quit and went full-time running my own digital marketing agency, which is what I do now. And I either teach others how to do SEO, we do it for them as a company, and we do other things for websites, such as building websites, redesigning websites, creating new pages, technical fixes, and hosting. So I was going to create a spreadsheet, and I did create a spreadsheet showing the impact of saving money on commission by getting direct bookings to the middle of your P&L account. Anyway, Mark from Boostly just last week launched his new website, and I thought, oh, this demonstrates even better what I'm trying to demonstrate. So let's look at the two hotels I ran in the Cotswolds in Chipping Camden, two 28-bedroom hotels, so 56 rooms. Actually, daily rate was, I'd say, it's about 225. One hotel was slightly higher, one was slightly less. It was an inn and a 4-star spa hotel. Occupancy, the inn was about 80-odd%. The spa hotel was about 75. So let's go in the middle there, 79%. Actually, our OTA reliance was not huge. Because I'd done years of work. I was there 7 years and I put a lot of work into the website and getting direct bookings. But also we focused around taking bookings where people couldn't book through an OTA. So for example, weddings. Either we teamed up with the local barn wedding venue and got direct bookings through the bridal party, or we hosted our own weddings and they would fill the hotels Fridays and Saturdays. We'd have often conferences during the week. But when we didn't, of course, we also went out to the OTAs as well. So we had slightly less reliance on the OTAs than perhaps another service accommodation provider. But if, for example, we had 50% reliance, which it would be perfectly reasonable for a hotel, we're talking, £250,000, $270,000 a year, it would cost that business. Now, that money there, what if it was invested back into the business, back into your product, and back into the bricks and mortar, the fabric of the building, better beds, better facilities, better services? What if this was over 5 years? That's £1 million. 4 years, £1 million. What if it's over 10 years? How does your business look differently if this is over a longer period of time, when you can continuously reinvest and either pay off your mortgage sooner, have a better loan to value ratio so you get a better interest rate, or you can reinvest in your property and start increasing your average room rate and getting better reviews and more occupancy? Because that's what I did with our savings, always reinvested back into the property. So imagine that over a number of years, what it can do to your business. Now, I know you're probably not selling 56 bedrooms. This was a hotel. You might be doing 5 accommodation units. So let's make that 5. If I can find 5, it's after 4. I can't make the mouse work. Average daily rate. Now, average daily rate for a decent Airbnb could be a lot higher. It could be 300 a night, even more. Depends how many it sleeps. Occupancy there, that might be about right, perhaps 70% for an Airbnb. But I think the reliance for an Airbnb type property, short-term rental, is even higher. So even just at 5 listings, £40,000, $46,000 in a year, we could start saving. And over the time, we can start increasing our average rate, decreasing our reliance on OTAs, and increasing our occupancy. So everything tumbles down to the bottom line for a more fit and nimble business that we can run. So anyway, that's what I see as the benefit, the ultimate goal of SEO and getting more direct bookings. And not just through SEO, through email marketing, through social media marketing. We don't just rely on one thing. It all builds the picture. And what people are guilty of is building their wonderful website and launching the website and then doing nothing with it. They're thinking that that's the end of the journey. But unfortunately, it's the start of the journey. If you're not going to do anything with the website, just stay on the OTAs. But by investing a bit in a good website and then either learning a bit of SEO yourself or getting someone else to do it, the sooner you start, the sooner it's paying you back. So when you're thinking, oh, I won't bother, but what if by the time this is getting traction and these little seeds you're planting now, by next year is saving you this sort of money? It's not going to seem that expensive, is it? Because this is building good foundations for the future. Right, so in previous videos like this, I've demonstrated a bit more, some details of SEO and how to do it. What I'm going to do in this is talk about Google Analytics and Google Sitekit, because people struggle to understand what it is. I'm going to show you how to set it up and how to connect it to your WordPress website. Now, not to let you down, I've also created 3 10 to 15 minute videos that are going to be emailed to you over the course of the next week or so, which will have some more detailed training involved. And you can just watch those videos at your leisure and hopefully give you more inspiration and ideas of how you can create content and attract the right audience for you. So let me just give you an idea of a website I was recently working on. And it's actually this one. It's number 1, service apartments in Belfast. Now, we only started doing the SEO a month ago. Now, what I'm trying to get you to think about is what most people make the mistake of doing at the start is trying to target the really broad, wishy-washy keywords that are not really very specific. So accommodation in Belfast. Are they looking for a hotel, a tent, a campsite, a yurt, a hot tub, a log cabin, a YMCA? Who knows? Yeah, even if it was hotel, it doesn't say budget, luxury, romantic. There's nothing specific about the word accommodation. But adding the words together with the type of accommodation, serviced accommodation, or it could be serviced apartment, along with the niche we're targeting, in this case, pet-free or pet-friendly. That might be hot tub, it might be romantic, the accommodation might be yurt, it might be self-catering, and then with the city. So we're putting 3 things together: location, niche, i.e. pet-free, and accommodation type. By putting those 3 things together, we're being really specific about who we're targeting, so we can rank easily on Google. Okay, there are not as many people searching for this search term as there is accommodation in Belfast, but the people that are searching this term, let's say it's 100 a month, they definitely want your thing. They definitely need what you offer. And you're putting yourself right in front of them directly at the top of Google, even ahead of Booking.com. Yeah, because Booking.com are not getting this granular with who they're targeting. They're very broad with who they're targeting. So being specific and creating content on your website around that specificity, did I say that right? Specificity can put you in front of your ideal target audience. Okay, so there's the three things I want you to think about on how to put yourself in front of your audience. And ideally, every page of your site will have a focus that it is trying to do. What's it trying to achieve, and who is that page trying to be in front of? What search query does your page answer? And that's what SEO is all about. Okay, now we can get a lot of information from Google Analytics and Google Search Console. I'm going to show you what happens when you set up those accounts and how to set up the accounts. Now, sometimes you get emails like this from Google. New pages preventing your site being indexed. And you can open that. It will open up Google Search Console and tell you what the issue is. So in here, it said 4XX issue, which means it's a 404 error. For example, you go to a page and it says page not found. So what we can do is actually have a look at them. Now this one, you can see it says started. I've already submitted those errors to look at the fixes and ask Google to confirm that they're repaired. But we can look at through the errors that it gives us and understand, are they errors? Are they not errors? And do I need to repair them? So for example, that's a 4XX issue. And we can see that it's just a WordPress admin code on a page. We don't need to fix it. It's not an actual page. The customers never see it. It's fine. And that can be the same for other pages. For example, excluded by no index tag. Mostly we set no index tag because we want Google to not index the page. We're telling Google this is not a page, and that's why it's important. So Google then builds trust in us and understands that we are operating our website correctly. So for example, this is a hospitality recruitment website and it has some tags attached to job applications, which might also pertain to blog posts and that sort of thing, and authors on the page. It doesn't matter about this code, so we just no index it. So that's what Google Search Console is. Now, let me show you on a WordPress site how to attach or connect the two things together to make it work. Now, first thing to say is if you already have Google Site Kit on your WordPress website, it will be here, top left generally, but it might say you might not be able to see the data. So this is a website we just launched yesterday, Ralston Manor. So it's only just started gathering data, which is why it looks like that. But if you can't see anything in this back end here, you might need to be granted access through Google Analytics. Now, if you don't know who has access, just set it up again yourself. So the first thing to do, if you haven't got SiteKit there, is go to plugins, click on add new plugin, then search, and then just say Google SiteKit, which obviously this is already installed on this site. It will come up looking like this, install now, just there. Once it's installed, you click activate, and that already says it's active. So once it's there, it will appear up in the top left-hand side there. Now, if you can't access your SiteKit, like somebody else has set it up and you can't see this data, just scroll down to Tools and reset the SiteKit. And now you can go through the process from the dashboard of setting up your SiteKit. So we'll do it now live. Connect to Google SiteKit. And you need to be logged into Chrome. This is really important because Chrome is a Google product. You need to be in Google. And it will connect to Google Analytics. So you're basically just giving Google Analytics and Google Search Console permission to add a tag to your website and connect the website to the account. So you click next, just click next all the way through, and agree. At this point, you might get a couple of boxes to tick that you accept and accept the terms and conditions. Click yes, and off you go. And eventually it will take you back to the website. And that's just sort of pulling through the data and connecting the accounts. Now it's going to ask us if we want to, is it the correct analytics account? Now you might not have these two boxes here. Obviously mine's already set up, but it might say you can click the drop-down menu and set up a new account. And then it will do the rest for you. Just follow the process. But we're already connected. Ralston Manor, complete setup. Okay, so if we go to the dashboard, it's going to give us information about the number of visitors and type of visitors, that sort of thing, from different sources, Google Search Console and Google Analytics. One is kind of analytics is recording more how many pages they visit, which device they are on, how long they visited for, where the traffic came from. Google Search Console is more about, yes, a little bit of data, historical data, but also whether your pages are all indexed and whether you have a sitemap. Now, a sitemap is really important. So you must check you have a sitemap. Otherwise, it means Google cannot crawl through your site and find all the different pages. If you have a WordPress site, it already shows in here the URL. And all you need to do for every WordPress site is type in at the end /wp-sitemap.xml and add that at the end. And after about 10 minutes, you should say success. Okay, and then Google then knows what your page structure all looks like and how to navigate its way through. So that's really, really vital. Step one of any launch of a new website. Really, really must be done. What else can it do? Down here in the settings, you can add other people, user permissions. You can add email address there. And it can also tell you core web vitals. Now, this is a relaunch of a new site, so we don't have any data yet, but it will tell you whether a site is slow, whether it's loading okay, whether it works on mobile, whether it doesn't work on mobile. Now, obviously, if Google's telling you that, it means it's important to Google, so we need to try to fix it. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's a bit technical. So that's why Search Console is really important. Now let's go over to Google Analytics, and I'm going to look at my own Google Analytics page here, just because I don't mind sharing the data, and because the other page I just showed you, the site was only relaunched yesterday, so there's nothing to show. So in here, we're on the home. We know it's connected because there's data showing in the last 30 days. Sometimes you get an error at the top here that says that nothing recorded in the last 48 hours. So that would be concerning. You just double check in your settings that your property, it shows in here your property details, your property ID. You can go back to analytics in the website and see if it's the correct property ID connected, just to make sure it's working. So what else can we do? Go back to the home. And it loads. And obviously that's telling us data over the last 30 days. We can make it 7 days. We can make it 90 days. And that's telling us whether we're up or down. It can tell us seasonal trends, weekly trends. Are people more looking at the website at the weekend? See, I've got my peaks and troughs here. Yeah, it goes down on a Saturday, went down there on a Sunday, went down there on a Sunday. So for me, Sundays are not great, but we've got peaks here, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. So we know that midweek we're good. So if we were doing, say, a Google Ads campaign, we might turn it off at the weekend, because actually I'm a B2B business, so we turn it off at the weekend. But your B2C, you might turn your ads on at the weekend to maximize the ROI on the ads. So this is why this data is important. It tells us when visitors are coming and perhaps when we need to be more active ourselves on responding to email inquiries. Right, so let's have a little look. If you click on the reports, what we want to do is learn where the traffic is coming from, because that can tell us multiple things. Is our social media working? And if so, which social media is working? The advert that you paid the local supplier to be on their website, you paid them £300 for a year for a listing. Has it brought you any traffic? Well, using Google Analytics, we can tell if it's brought us any traffic. Yeah. So if we look at the traffic overview, we can see what pages people have visited, that sort of thing. And if we click on leads, so it doesn't make too much of a difference whether it's user acquisition or traffic acquisition. For the sake of this, we're interested in where the traffic came from. We can say on here how long, so I know I'm in the way, how far back we go. We can change 30 days, 90 days, 12 months, etc. Let's say 90 days of data. And we can also change how many lines of data we have. I only have 5 lines, but you can change on here. You can add more lines of data. So we can see now that in that 90 days, most of my customers know me. So they've typed in Webb-Marketing to find me. 377 are referrals, so that's on another website, a link back to mine. 357 organic search, so they've just typed in digital marketing agency Bista, Google Ads agency Bista, hospitality marketing agency, hospitality SEO training. They're all my services, website hosting. So they might have typed in those key terms and found me naturally. Social, that might be any social media page, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, etc. But I don't really know whether it's my own social media or somebody else's or wherever. I guess actually mostly it's other people because I don't do social media much. But we still can't see at a granular level where that is. And the old Google Analytics, it would show you very clearly and easily to find here. But now all we need to do is just a further step. So if we click the plus button and click traffic source, session source or medium, have a play with it, see what comes up for you. And you can now see a little bit more information about where the traffic is coming from. Yeah. So we can now see that it was Facebook or a referral from SiteGround or this Facebook. Yeah. That one, for example, is a directory listing for SEO agencies. So if I was paying for that, I'm not, but if I was, I would know that they're bringing me traffic and I'd be happy to pay them for it. So that's how that can really help you identify where your advertising spend goes, where your marketing budget is going, and is it working? Yeah. Same with socials. If you're putting all your effort on Instagram and your traffic's coming from Facebook, maybe switch your attention to Facebook. Yeah. Because social media helps SEO. The more traffic you get, the more authority you get, and Google will reward you for that traffic. You know, people share on social media, giving you a wider audience and again, more traffic. So that's a sort of a way that social media as well can help your SEO. And that's why they're all tied together. SEO, email marketing, PPC, PPC is pay per click, Google Ads, and doing actual SEO yourself. So over time, we can then build a picture of the data. And in the back of our website, we can also see what terms people are searching to find us. So these are the key terms people are adding to find our website. Sorry, this one, top queries for your site. So then we know we can start building more content around our top performing pages. And that's how we can, rank even further on those things. Right, I'm just going to wrap up. I'm nearly at 30 minutes. So let's go back to what I'm going to do over the next three emails will come out of the next week or two with 10, 12-minute training on how to do certain things on SEO. So look out for those. If you want to do SEO course, there'll be a link in the emails, but there's a hospitality SEO course there. And with the discount for this summit, is £24 a month, Inc. VAT if you're in the UK, and there'll be a discount code to use it. All right, so you can just sign up through here. Where is it? Enroll in the hospitality SEO course. It's dead cheap, and like I say, £20 a month, and then you can start saving £50,000 next year. For me, it's great value for money. I want to keep it as cheap as I possibly can, help as many people as I can, and wean you off your reliance on the OTAs. I really hope you start the journey, whether it's through me or through email marketing training, social media training. All of it helps SEO. Okay, and if you don't have time to do this yourself, obviously we've got an agency to provide the service for you. But the cheapest way of doing it is to learn it. And obviously my course is tailored around hospitality. So by all means, get a son or a daughter, a cousin, a nephew, subscribe them to the course and let them do it for you. Honestly, if they're 15 or over, they could probably do it. All you need to do is turn a computer on. All right, hope you've enjoyed that. I look forward to reaching out over the next few weeks with some emails. Take care. Bye-bye.